This is an extended essay video to help IB students write their Digital Society extended essay. This is one of a few videos that I've created about extended essay, and it's basically just to help students get top marks for their EE. Now, today's video, I'm going to talk about some key areas that you need to address. So if you're a Digital Society student, you've got to remember that Digital Society, your extended essay shouldn't just be all about technology. Digital Society is a Group 3 subject, and it is a individuals and society subject. So you've got to approach this basically from more like of a social science perspective. So we've got to talk about the technology, but you've really got to emphasize the impacts the technology has on people and the societies. This is the area that you really need a heavy emphasis on. Just be aware, Group 3 subjects, you're going to be studying about the human experience and behavior, so technology and the human experience and how technology impacts behaviors and things. The other one is the varieties of physical, economic, and social environments that people inhabit. So again, we're talking about people. The people is a big emphasis, not as much on the technology. Okay, having said that, you've got the 3 C's in Digital Society. So the one that you really need to address is the concept section. Now, when you're looking at the concepts, now this website I've created, I've got the concepts listed here. Which concept you're going to focus on? Are you going to focus on 2.1 change, 2.2 expression, 2.3 identity, power, space, or systems, or values and ethics? Now, when you actually identify which concept that you're going to focus on with your extended essay, don't just focus on the first part. There's the first couple of bullet points are areas to study, but please focus on here, which is theories and frameworks. So when you're talking about systems and theories and frameworks, things like actor networks, rhizomatic frameworks, you're not covering everything. You're just focusing in on one or maybe even 2. So are you going to talk about conflict theory? So as an extended essay Digital Society student, what you need to do is, first of all, pick the area. If it's going to be systems, pick systems. Then pick this sub area. Which of these areas are you going to hone in on? But then you also need to focus in on the theories and frameworks. Now you can use this from the IB Digital Society guidebook, but you can use things like any of your favorite AI tools, Claude, Bard, ChatGPT, whatever it is, to ask about, can you please explain some theories and frameworks associated with 2.6D models, maps, visualization, and then see what the artificial intelligence produce. And then see which of the theories and frameworks is the area that you want to study. So this needs, if you want to get top marks, you need to dig a bit deeper into the concepts. Okay, next thing that you need to address, you want to have a global and a local context. So context, once again, if you look here or go to the guidebook, you'll find the different contexts. So which context are you going to focus on? Is it economic? Is it cultural? Is it environmental? Is it health? Is it human knowledge, political, or social? So be sure to identify that. Now, if you were to pick something like political, for example, you need to have that balance of local and global. So quite often the extended essay students I supervise, they do have a local focus. So whether it's the city they live in or the country they're from, because that's what they know, and that's completely understandable. And this is probably the easiest area to do primary research as well. If you want to include any primary research, if you want to interview somebody, or you want to do some observations of people using technology, whatever it might be. So local is probably going to be a heavy focus for your research, particularly primary research, but even secondary as well. But the secondary research, make sure you also have a global context. Now, the easiest way to do that is focus on your local area, research as much as you can find, and then at some stage you need to think about that same context or same same context you're talking about, perhaps political, and think about another country. So maybe think about a neighboring country, or you can think about a country that's on the other side of the world as well. So you're then having that global and local focus. So that's super important to include in your extended essay. The next thing I want to talk about is the referencing. So this is a research project, and as we mentioned in another video, you're not expected to have first-class research skills and essay writing skills at this stage. This project is for you to develop these skills. Now, when it comes to referencing, just keep in mind, with the in-text citation, if you've got an idea and you've discovered an idea through your research, you do need to have that author's name. So this is the in-text citation. Now, there's a couple of different methods, the MLA, whatever it might be, and schools decide on which type of referencing system that the school wants to employ, not the IB. So check with your school what referencing system you want to use, but from the IB's perspective, as long as you use a system, a referencing system, and you keep that referencing system consistent throughout the whole project, they're happy. So choose a referencing system, or get your someone from your school to tell you what is the referencing system that you use. So when you've got an idea, just say it's in your introduction, blah, 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 blah. Where did that idea come from? You put the author's name. Now that author's name should link up to your bibliography as well. So if you've made some kind of a claim and whoever's assessing or whoever's reading wants to dig a bit deeper, they can go to your bibliography and see the author's name and then go to the actual source. So that's the main thing about your referencing and your citations, using that in-text citation. Now, this is a research project, so there should be a lot of referencing within every paragraph. Every paragraph, there should be authors' names where you get your ideas, whether they're big ideas or even whether they're small ideas or some statistics, whatever it might be. So reference heavily, reference often, and use technology to help. As your reference, there's things like EasyBib, MyBib. There's lots of free tools out there that make referencing really easy. So high priority on the referencing. My background just changed. Okay, next thing. I've got a to-do list. So if you're embarking on your IB extended essay project right now, I've got 7 steps here. First of all, choose your subject. You've chosen Digital Society. Then you've got to work out your content. Your 3 C's: content, context, and concept. Which of those are you going to focus in on? Now, again, please focus on something you're interested in, because you're going to spend a lot of time researching and writing this essay. So choose things that you're genuinely interested in, but also with criterion E, you need to demonstrate your engagement. And you're going to be engaged if it's a topic that you're really interested in. Step 2 is the planning of how the resources. So a lot of schools, and even in the guide, it talks about doing a literature review. So this is where you've chosen your topic that you're interested in, and now you go about gathering resources and information. So you go to the library, you do a lot of online research, and you start gathering things. And then when you're gathering all your resources, there'll be certain patterns that emerge and certain sources that are better and more useful for your task at hand than other ones. So then you can start kind of almost prioritizing the sources that you've gathered. Then the next step is to do that deeper dig, and you can do your literature review. So literature review is 2 main parts to it. Basically is what is this research? Where did the research happen? What was the methodology? When did it occur? So you're talking about the actual research, but then you can also talk about what the content of, or what are the themes of the research. Next thing, plan your schedule. So about now, so once you've done, so back to step 2, once you've done your deciding on your topic, and you've done your literature review, you should be able to work out your research question at this stage. Now, if you've got a well-written research question, throw it into some kind of AI tool, ChatGPT, Bard, whatever it might be, and then ask, or now it's called Gemini, ask it to do an outline, an essay outline, an extended essay, 4,000 word essay outline, and see how AI tools map out an essay structure. Now, it's probably not going to be perfect, and that's where you take that suggestion and then rewrite it and make it better. Now, if your research question is off target, whatever the outline is will be a bit weird. So that means maybe your research question isn't so great. So you might want to rewrite your research question. In fact, that's what you're going to be doing throughout the whole process, is continually rewriting that research question so that it links with your essay. So planning, map out how many words are you going to have in your introduction. Now, in your body, what are the different parts of the body, and then your conclusion at the end. So map out your structure. Next stage is start writing that essay. And as you write that essay, remember it's a research project, so keep track of all the ideas and where they come from with your citations and in-text citation. Now, I would not, me personally, when I'm writing an essay, I don't do all the formatting for the citation until the very end. But what's imperative is that I do keep track of where I do get my ideas from, because at that last stage, I can then see, oh yes, that was the Smith source, Smith 2020. And then I can update it and make it, do the final finishing touches at the end when I tidy up the bibliography and the in-text citation. So as you write the essay, just keep track of everything. It'll make your life much easier at the end. Okay, next thing is your planning. Now, as I mentioned in another video, one of my grade 12 students who just finished their extended essay said that they actually enjoyed the process and it was kind of easy because they just did 1 hour a week. So think about your own schedule. Is it every Saturday morning for 2 hours that you're going to do extended essay, or is it every Thursday night, 1 hour? But the easiest way to plow through this process is just chip away at it little bit by little bit each week, and set yourself a due date, which is well ahead of the actual due date set by your IB coordinator or your extended essay coordinator. So to allow for things like maybe you get sick or your computer breaks or whatever might happen. So set your own due dates, set your own targets, and that should be in sync with your essay outline that you've created as well. So when am I going to do part 1? I'll try and finish that by the end of next 2 weeks. This one, 4 weeks later. Next one, 6 weeks. So 2 weeks here, 2 weeks here, an hour at a time. So just map out your time that you're going to spend, how many words you're going to write, and the process should be pretty easy. Once you've then got, yes, we're writing the essay. At the end, once you've written the essay, be sure to proofread, tidy it up, and do all your citations, and then make sure your final copy meets all the requirements of the IB before you submit that. Now, the requirements of the IB. Here it is here. Your extended essay topic, title, and research questions. So here are the things that you need. So you need a topic. So we've chosen digital society. What concept, what context, what content. So that's the topic. Your title. Now your title is separate to your research question. So it's like your book cover type thing, or what's the title of your book, or what's the title of your presentation. And it should have similar themes to your topic. That should be mentioned, but it's not just a rewrite of your research question. So you're writing your extended essay title, and that sounds interesting to the reader. Oh yeah, these are all the kind of topics and themes that I like. Now I'll give you an idea which is quite popular nowadays, particularly on online platforms, is that you have a title and then you have a colon and then like a subtitle as well. So the main title are the big ideas, and then that subtitle, so colon, the next part, digs a bit deeper, or it has a little bit more of a focus. I think that's a very common way nowadays for titles of things. So I would suggest the same kind of thing. Now, your research question. Your research question is super important, so put some time and energy into that. Now, just be aware that everything should be in sync. Your topic, your EE title, and your research question should all be should all be a match, but they're not just the same thing over 3 times. They should be slightly different each time. Now, your research question, your extended essay title, and the topic, everything you write in your extended essay should somehow be linked to those things. If you start getting off track, you need to either change your topic and your title and your research question, or get your essay back on track. So that's super important. And the last video I recommended, and it's recommended in the guidebook as well, that you put a footer with the title or the research question in. So when you're writing, you're constantly aware of what is the topic. If you start writing something and you realize, hang on, I'm off track, change it, get back on track, or change your research question. Now, for your title page, a couple of things that you require on your title page. You need your title of your essay, you need your research question, you need your subject, which is, in this video, it's digital society, and then your word count. Now, talking about word counts, 4,000 is the limit. So just be aware that if you write more than 4,000, the examiner's not going to read that beyond 4,000 part. So don't go over 4,000. Now, most universities that I've attended allow a kind of about a 10%. And no, I don't know anyone who counts the exact words and stops at 4,000. So allow a bit of 10% kind of above or below is fine. Next thing, so that's your title page. The next thing should be a table of contents. Now, if you're using Microsoft Word or if you're using Google Docs, there's a very easy function now, Digital Society Technology course. So it'll take you no time to work, if you don't know already, how to add a table of contents. You're not physically typing it. Let the technology do it. It's a simple click of a button, but it also requires you to use headings. So if you don't know how to add your table of contents, just do a quick Google search, and it's super simple. And as you rewrite your essay, by a click of a button, it'll sync up as well. So your second page is going to be a table of contents. So this is also why I always suggest using headings, clear headings, but also subheadings as well. But also for the assessment criteria for presentation, if you've got your well-organized table of contents and subheadings, you're on track to get top marks for the presentation as well. Okay, then we're on to the third page. You're going to write your introduction. So there's discussions about abstracts. So you can write an abstract, but you don't need to. But an abstract and an introduction, just keep this in mind. You're doing the research process at the moment. So sometimes you find a source. Here's a source, here's a story about whatever it might be, some research that's been conducted. And you'll know now the process that you start reading the abstract and the introduction, and what you're doing is to check if that's what you want to read. So when you're reading the introduction and you think, is this applicable to me? No, it's not. You discard it, you push that one aside. So that's what you do when you're researching. So when you're writing this essay, your introduction should be clear to talk about what kind of areas that you're researching and what you're going to be writing about and the direction of your study, and also how you conducted your research. And again, it's for people to understand, should I read on or not? So the introduction is super important. So put some time and energy into that and keep rewriting until you get that right. So these first 4 pages are actually super important. Your title page with your research question, your title, and what subject you're working on. Then you've got your table of contents as well, so it shows the direction and the structure of your essay, and then your introduction. Super important. So make sure you get those ones right. Put some time and energy into those ones. After your introduction, you're going to do the body of your essay, and that will be probably created in a nice structure that, as I suggested, get some help with some AI tools about how to structure your essay. And then the last part will be your conclusion. So introduction, body, conclusion, and then the very last part will be your bibliography. So that's the requirements and the structure of the actual document that you're going to be submitting at the end. Okay, a couple of other requirements. Make sure it just says, the IB guide says an appropriate font, so don't use Comic Sans or anything silly. Just make sure it's an appropriate academic style font. And if you need to, just type into Google, what are the most common fonts for academic writing, for universities, and just use one of those that it suggests. Page numbering is mandatory. Now, so you're going to be, as I've suggested, you're going to insert your table of contents, also insert your footer. Now in your footer, it should also have the page number as well. So if you don't know how to do those things, do a quick Google search and sort that out. You're a technology student, it shouldn't be too hard. No names, don't put any names, school names on the title page, and the reason for this is they want whoever's assessing to be assessing an anonymous document. They don't want any bias in any way. Now, the file size must not be over 10 megabytes, so just be conscious if you're using images that are large, like high resolution, just realize that you may need to compress some of these images. Header appears on every page. I just talked about that. Title page. Don't put your header on the title page. Your header should have, as it says in the guidebook, your header should have the research question. Now that's a header, so I've been talking about the footer. So your header, according to this, should be the research question. Your footer should have the page number, but you can even put your research title in there as well, so that you're constantly, it is mainly to help you with the writing as well, that you're constantly writing and thinking about your research question and your research title. But also from the reader's perspective, they've got the page numbers and they've got them there at their fingertips, and they're conscious of them as they read your document. Appendices. Okay, only include the appendices if you've conducted some kind of interview and you've got your transcript. I would include that as an appendices. However, you should not have anything in your appendices in the appendices that is actually like quality information. That quality information should be in your essay. So the only reason to include like your transcript of an interview is in your essay, you've written a lot about your interview. But if the reader wants to actually, maybe they've got some questions about the interview or they want to dig a bit deeper, then they can go and look at the transcript. So it's there for primarily that reason. So it's not really required, not needed. All your good stuff, your good information should be in the body of your extended essay. So that's the end of my video. I hope that helps you with your extended essay and you get top marks.